calling all the men who think their wives have gone insane. Your wife is probably between the age of 35 and 45. She has no libido. She has no interest in being intimate with you. In fact, you breathe wrong. You smell wrong. You're doing everything wrong. She has no motivation. She's tired all of the time, not just as an excuse at night, but literally tired all the time she's taking naps. She never did that before. You're wondering, where did my wife go? She doesn't participate in any of the hobbies that used to light her up. You don't remember the last time you have seen her lit up. She complains a lot about her body aching. She's taking a lot of ibuprofen, maybe a little extra wine. She just feels and looks meh. And it doesn't seem like any amount of romance, helping around the house, motivation, nothing you do is helping. Maybe you're even already going to marriage counseling because she thinks it's you. She probably already went to her doctor and asked for help with libido and her tiredness and all of it. And her doctor probably said, it's probably your marriage. And so then she came home and signed you up for marriage counseling. Or maybe I'm talking to the man that it's too late and you're hearing this after you've been separated or divorced. This is perimenopause. It is destroying relationships because nobody, no doctors, not the women and not the men, know that this is happening, and everyone is blaming the husband and the relationship. So I want to hear your story. Share in the comments what has been going on. Did you know about perimenopause? Does all of this sound like your wife? Let's figure it out together.
So, this speaker says many men were taught to admire women first. It seems like changing expectations probably influenced how some men approach dating today.
Why do divorced women struggle on just one income? 1 in 5 women become impoverished because of divorce. Women also see a 20% decline in their income with divorce.
Okay, so let's discuss the old age question. Does body count matter? Let's take males out of this equation completely, which to them, a lot of them, it still does matter. Let's just discuss female and the role that we play in this and why it matters to us. So we release a chemical, and this chemical is a love hormone. Every single time we have a new partner, we get attached to them, whether or not we choose to or not, because that's just how our body works. Men don't have this. So every single time we're having a new sexual partner, we're attaching ourselves emotionally to them without really wanting to, or it's just something that we can't control. So imagine the higher your body count, you're getting attached to all of these people, and it's going to affect how you attach to someone in the future, because if you have a high body count, you're emotionally less available.
Honestly, this clip points to loud reactions over clear arguments. It looks like strong gestures maybe replace meaningful conversations, leaving both sides frustrated.
I lived my life 2.5 years ago. After a year of telling my husband that I was not happy and us talking about divorce, or me talking about divorce, I just decided one day that that was that. I was going to leave. And I packed a suitcase and I left. And for those of you that have also done this, I wonder if you have any regrets.
Men don't want to get laid, because I made a video saying that women need to sleep around more, parenthesis, because you need to discover that SD ain't that special. Anyway, but like, if you sleep around more men get laid, right? And there are still men in the comment section going, don't listen to her, girls. Don't listen to her. And it's like, sir, are you trying to keep your homeboys to yourself, or what's going on?
After talking to hundreds of you guys, I've realized something that I need to get off my chest. It is the men who are actually trying to save the relationships here, not the women. And what's crazy is that most of the women I've actually talked to and had consultation with tell me that their husbands are the ones sending them my videos, and that says everything. 70 to 80% of divorces are filed by women. That is not trying to fix a marriage, that is walking away from it. Most women threaten divorce long before they're ever ready to file. They use it as leverage until the man finally hits his breaking point and says, I'm done. And once he does say I'm done, That's when the gaslighting starts. She flips the script, plays the victim, promises to change, cries, manipulates, you name it. Anything to pull him back in because the control is slipping from her end. But when a man truly checks out, it's not loud, it is quiet, and it is final, and you've lost him. When a good man walks away, it is not because he stopped caring. It's because he cared too long and nobody met him halfway. So if you're watching this, man or woman, ask yourself, are you really trying to build your relationship and save it? Or are you slowly tearing it apart while you're convincing yourself that you're the one being wronged?
Looking at this, the speaker highlights women who openly appreciate men. I'm pretty sure feeling valued matters, and that can strengthen healthier relationships.
Probably delete this, but I'm feeling really scared. I wasn't looking to be alone at 48. I didn't get married to get divorced. I tried so much. Like, I can't imagine being with anyone else. I mean, I can, but it could just be a fantasy because I'm really good at limerence. I'm really good at living in the positive, the what could be's. Oh no.
Women would say that men control hookup culture and it's men's fault. That's false. Hookup culture is actually women that control it. We control hookup culture because we're the gatekeepers of sex. And if guys aren't getting it, then they're gonna have to commit. That's just how it is. So the faster women realize that, the better it is, and the sooner this hookup culture ends. Simple.
This clip suggests winning someone's attention isn't the finish line. It seems like long-term relationships probably require far more effort than expected.
Boring sex creates bored men, and bored men create unhappy women. This is what quietly kills relationships, guys. Most women blame stress, kids, lack of date nights, but the real killer is far more intimate. It's the predictable, low effort, going through the motions sex. You show up tired, you're not really in the mood, you do the same routine and wait for it to be over. And then you wonder why the spark died and your relationship is slowly falling apart. Boring sex doesn't just bore him. It kills attraction, it kills emotional connection, and worst of all, it kills your own happiness and feminine energy. But the women who is an absolute freak in bed, she becomes exciting, magnetic, and addictive. Her man doesn't just want her, he craves her. He thinks about her during the day, pulls her in close at night, stays obsessed with her because she keeps the fire burning hot. And in return, she feels more powerful, more confident, more alive, and more desired.
I mean, the speaker believes many men simply want peace. Maybe repeated negative experiences make some choose distance instead of constant conflict.
I've been divorced for 3 years, and in that 3 years, I have spent most of my days figuring out how I can become physically, mentally, financially, spiritually healthy enough to be able to afford and take care of a child. And it just kills me. It kills me that I had embryos with my ex-husband that were viable. It's not just that it's gone, it's the fact that it was decided for me.
Oh boy, I think it's safe to say the ladies are not happy with us men, especially those of you who've headed overseas.
Can we have a serious conversation about the LBHs, passport bros, like whatever you want to call them?
Conversation? Sure, but like seriously, what's the problem? Though I suspect there really isn't one. Well, at least not one that men need to concern themselves about, but go ahead.
I just don't understand how the most mid-basic level men can leave America, travel to these other countries, and just pull absolute tens, like the hottest girls that you will ever see.
How is it happening? Oh, sweetie, That one's easy. Because you see, in other countries, the women aren't like you and most women in the US. You know, completely shallow, off the charts delusional. In fact, so far off the deep end mentally, you'd need 2 lifeguards to get back. That is the reality for most of you women in the United States now. You're shallow and judge people by their looks, and only their looks. Whereas overseas, those women value men for who they are as a person, not just what they look like. Not to mention they haven't completely deluded themselves into thinking they're somehow super hot 10s when at best they're mids themselves. And that's after they've speckled on so much fake up the EPA is considering listing their bathroom as a hazardous waste site. So it's really not that hard to understand why men are heading overseas and easily finding terrific women, because that's where they're to be found. Unlike, say, trying to find one lying in her bed thinking she's all that and talking like Moon Unit Zappa singing Valley Girl.
And these men, like men that we wouldn't even look twice at, are just pulling them and convincing them to date them. Like, I truly don't understand it. Can someone please explain to me how this is happening and how these men are able to get away with it?
Honestly, this argument calls for mutual respect and realistic expectations. It seems like balanced effort probably creates stronger and more lasting relationships.
We talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy. When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine. You know, we can get through this. And he's so encouraging and everything's just so peachy keen, right? We talk about how I'm manipulated into staying because he's a good guy. He does nothing wrong. Like, the only thing he's guilty of is being lazy and, you know, not putting in effort like we did when we were in the beginning of our relationship. Like any other man, he doesn't beat me, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't take money from me, but he downplays my emotions. I don't think he fully understands me. And we've talked about this, y'all. This has all been in counseling, but how do you leave the good guy?
Okay, as women, we got to get this out our heads. The first sign that a man is leaving us is not cheating. It's not yelling, it's not distance, and most of the time it's not even another woman. The telltale sign is when he stops fighting for the relationship. When he was fighting for the relationship, he would correct, he didn't mind debating or explaining himself. And now he just says, okay, do whatever, I'm good. And unfortunately, we mistake that calmness as him like being okay with everything, but he's actually detached. A man will go back and forth with a woman when he still believes that something is there that's worth fixing. Trust and believe, when a man stops defending himself or reacting to disrespect, oh, you better take heed that he is prepping to walk out the door. See, us as women sometimes take all of that patience as that we have won the war, but actually we haven't. A man is going to retreat and then he's going to reallocate himself. I mean, think about it. He pulls his emotions back and starts moving differently. He's more private, he's less expressive. If we really look at it and focus on it, he laughs less, he talks less, and he plans less. He's already set in his plan, so there's no need to argue about it. He just adjusts to his new normal. And once a man adjusts emotionally, he starts to adjust physically and financially. He just starts to focus on himself, his body, his money, his circle of people that are around him. And once everything is in play and the day gets closer for him to leave, and he does, everybody is in shock and don't know where it came from. See, this is where we get slapped in the face. We think silence is stability, but it is a man prepping to say peace.
Guys, listen, dating is changing and women are finally feeling it. Like, women are finally feeling it. Listen, the past 10 years, oh yeah, they had their pick of the litter. Guys were sending direct messages, guys were double and triple texting, guys were doing everything and anything to get a response back or to set up a date. Guys were actually actively initiating dates and trying to actually pursue and create relationships. And what happened? Women didn't want none of them. So now what's happened? Men have quit. Men don't approach. Men don't double text. Men don't do anything anymore. Men just build their purpose. Men just keep building their finances. Men just keep going back to the gym, and men have quit. Because what happens is you now have an entire generation of men that think they're unattractive. You have an entire generation of men that believe they're either not worthy or they're unattractive or that women just naturally don't want them. You know, you see all this stuff like, oh, women would rather have a relationship with their dog or an animal or a bear in the wild than they would a man and all this stuff. Okay, that's what they wanted. That's what they claimed they wanted. Here we are. what you're going to actually notice, what's going to happen is women are going to most likely start within the next couple of years sending more choosing signals. Women are most likely going to start to pick up the phone and initiate phone calls first, or what you're even going to see is women just might start even approaching first, because that's what we have actually came to now, is men have completely just quit. Some would say for good reason.
Looking at this, the relationship is described as stressful and unpredictable. I'm pretty sure constant pressure makes emotional connection much harder to maintain.
After I got divorced, I was so lonely and isolated. It was awful. And it's easy to think that if you just had a partner again or could just meet somebody, that would cure your loneliness, but it actually doesn't. For example, have you ever been in a relationship and still felt lonely? I know I have. So I just want you to maybe readjust your perspective on that and not look for the cure of loneliness in a relationship. I work on all this inside stuff and figure out the root of your loneliness and address that before you even start thinking about getting into another relationship, because people can sense and feel that. Just a thought for you.
Never have you heard of a man coming to the internet to watch videos to try to decipher his girlfriend's behavior. Never have you heard of a man rolled up in the fetal position in his bed crying because she's not texting back. Never do you hear of a man consulting with his friends about her hot and cold or confusing or mixed signals. It's women that do this for men. It's women that are constantly wasting their time trying to decipher a man's communication style or his lack of affection or his lack of interest or his lack of attention, because women also have a hard time with their ego when a man isn't choosing them. A man will never put in the same effort that you put in. In fact, most relationships are only in existence for an extended period of time because the woman keeps forgiving and she keeps showing grace and she keeps being patient. The moment a woman stops doing that is the moment that most relationships will be dissolved. Relationships with men are completely reliant on how much a woman wants to deal with.
This speaker questions the gap between confidence and reality. It looks like honest feedback may help people grow instead of staying comfortable.
I left my husband 5 months ago and I regret it. No, you're not supposed to say that. I know I'm supposed to be in my living my best life, hoe era, whatever, but no. These last 5 months have broken my spirit. They have been the hardest of my life. These last 5 months have required so much work, so much discipline to get back to myself. But it's supposed to suck. I talked to my friend last night about this on the phone and he really put it in perspective for me. Said the year you get a divorce was going to suck regardless. I question my decisions constantly.
Over 50 are almost twice as likely as women to marry out of the West. So these guys are they're exhausted their options in the West or in their town or in their city or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So guys who are in their 20s and 30s are like, I'm not even going to start dating in my community. I'm going to look abroad.
This clip argues some systems leave men feeling overlooked. Maybe that's why some decide to focus on themselves rather than dating.
Literally set it for failure because the cost of living is so high right now. Single moms are really struggling to make ends meet on one income because everything is so damn expensive. Look, I've been where you are. I really started to stick to a budget so that I can make ends meet. I asked for help. A lot of times it's really hard for me to ask for help because I have a lot of pride.
It's come to my attention that there are women out there who willingly choose to be with men who don't make them come. Girl, get yourself a rose and leave that man. Why are you putting yourself through that miserable existence? You're telling me you enjoy his company so much that you're allowing him to not make you finish? Bullshit. We fought too hard for these rights to have them stripped from us and thrown in our face, okay? You're setting us back. You're better than that.
Looking at the final message, the speaker sees growing frustration between men and women. It seems like many are stepping away because they believe peace outweighs ongoing conflict. Whether people agree or disagree, These conversations continue because many feel their experiences deserve to be heard.